Okay, for the next part of this lesson, we are going to look at drop noise. So, drop noise is basically just white noise in the background that's sidechained to the kick drum, and it just creates a bit of like a filler, and it kind of fills up a bit of space in the background. It works really well with the syncopated hi-hats in this track here as well, but we use it all throughout the drop, and I'll show you how to make it and how to get it working. So, first thing you need to do is insert a MIDI track, and I'm just going to rename this track drop noise so we know what it is, and then I'm going to add an instance of massive onto this track, and the massive window should pop up. Alright, so we want some white noise in this track, so I'm just going to turn the oscillators off so it doesn't make any sound through them, and I'm going to change the noise to bright noise, so you can actually have different types of noise, funnily enough. You can have a play around with those and see how they sound at some stage. But I'm just going to use bright for now, and I'm going to boost the color all the way up and also the amplitude all the way up. Now I'm just going to click on this envelope for a second and explain something. So this envelope 4 is mapped to the amplitude, so they guess the overall output, and this is like the amplitude coming through here. And what it's basically saying is when we press a note down, it's going to boost all the way to the max volume it's set to, so in this case it's halfway, and then it's going to come down and hover about here until you let the note go, and this is how long it's going to take to release. So if I press a button now, or press a key, so we can listen to the noise, we'll see it shoot up, come down, then drop off. So have a look up here in this meter here as that happens. So as you can see, it's dropped all the way down after the initial hit. So what we want to do is actually we want it to sustain. So we're just going to actually boost the level of the decay. So when it decays, it's not going to decay at all. It's going to stay all the way at the top. And now if I hold it down, it should maintain its level at the middle of the bar, like so. Now we might want to crank that a little bit just so it we can hear it a bit more over the beat. And now I'm just going to add a reverb very quickly. So I'm just going to boost it up to halfway, add a little bit of color. It sounds pretty good. And then I'm going to just take a bit of the low end out of it. And that'll pretty much do it for our drop noise. So now I'm just going to create a 8-bar MIDI clip that has some noise playing. Double click on the MIDI clip. And I'm just going to put any note, doesn't really matter because noise is noise. Whatever note you play sounds the same. So we've got a G going there, but that'll be fine. Now if I play it, it's actually going to sound quite annoying and quite tedious. So I'll play it for you and we'll manipulate it to make it sound better after. So right now it's just a blast of white noise over the track. So what we want to do is add a compressor to the track. So I'm just going to go Audio Effects, Compressor, and I'm going to click the arrow, the down arrow in the top left-hand corner of the compressor to open up the sidechain panel. Click the yellow button to turn the sidechain on, and I'm going to set the input from the kick. I'm going to bring the threshold all the way down, the attack as fast as it can go, and I'm going to set the release to 14. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I've actually worked this out that 14 milliseconds is halfway through the beat, and yeah, it basically comes up as like a syncopated, sounds like a syncopated white noise blast. You'll have to play around with this depending on your tempo. Now I recommend 128 because that's the most standard tempo for dance music, but students change it around. They want it faster, they want it slower, so you just have to kind of manipulate this to kind of be on the offbeat. But it's no big deal as long as you've got the sidechain happening, and you know it cuts out while the kick plays. It's generally fine. So now if you have a listen to this, you'll hear it side chaining throughout and allowing the kick to shine through. Now that's quite loud, so I'm going to just turn that down a little bit so it's not so intrusive. Cool, and I'm going to drag that out through this drop. And I'm going to drag it out through this drop here. And we'll have a listen to this second drop with it in there. And it just adds an added thickness to the track and just thickens it out a bit. And there you have it. That's essentially drop noise, and it's just used to thicken up your drops and yeah, add that kind of pumping sidechain to it as well.